3, 2, 1.
Oh my gosh.
Latte.
Wow.
Oh my God, that's cold. Welcome back to You Betcha Radio Podcast, the coldest podcast in all the Midwest. I'm Miles, the You Betcha guy, here with Ryan, the T-shirt guy. We are drinking the Busch Latte cans today. They are back. They're back in a big, big way. We also are going to interview our new video guy. In addition to Tyler didn't get fired. His name is Giselle. So let's just get into the show.
I would venture to say it's almost the nectar of the gods. Back, baby, back. I want my Busch. Oh my God, that's cold.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Hello, and welcome back to episode 78 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. I am Ryan, the T-shirt guy, and today, yes, we do have a new employee. The Midwest Giselle is about a week and a half deep, and we are going to take a little bit of a deep dive into who this new character in the You Betcha family is. And I think it's going to be really interesting because there's a lot of things I'm curious about, and I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that the viewers are wondering as well. The biggest thing you're probably wondering, is Tyler the camera guy still employed at You Betcha? The answer is yes. Tyler is here, but Tyler needed some help. Loosely here. So we brought in some reinforcements. We're going to interview Jake, the Midwest Giselle, later in the show. Before we dive into it, guys, the merchandise is wide open. OUBetcha.com. We have all of our Latte Buzzin' shirts, the new Latte Buzzin' shirts. The breakfast ball gear is out, new golf polos, new hats, all that good stuff. One of the biggest merch drops that we've done is at OUBetcha.com. So go check it out right now. On top of that, Miles, the Twitch game has been hot lately. You're streaming, you stream Buzz Daily on Tuesdays. We do the Nectar Cup series on Wednesdays. Tyler's streaming Madden. I'm streaming UFC. So if you guys haven't had a chance to check out our Twitch page, twitch.tv/OUBetcha, go do that now. Some good, cheap entertainment. And you get to watch, well, Tyler and I suck at video games.
I didn't suck last night.
You did do really well last night.
Until you run.
That doesn't matter to me, though.
Until Tyler ran into an old buzzsaw.
Ooh.
I played Miles, but he doesn't count on my season record, so I don't give a shit about
I don't
loss.
even mess with playing against Miles in Madden or anything like that. We did it once. It won't happen again. He's too good. Yes, I did say that. He's too good. That's all on our Twitch channel, guys. Go check that out. Miles, sports are back.
So what you should have done is you should have relayed that into a segue there. You should have said, we're playing sports on Twitch, and also sports are back in real life.
Oh, thanks for the picking me up there. Yeah. I mean,
he did that with less words.
Coldest.
Like, why use many word if you word do trick?
Yep. Ryan wouldn't get that. He's never seen
I won't
The
get
Office.
that. I haven't seen The Office, so yeah.
So sports are back. The NBA bubble is in existence where, from what I understand, they just put all the NBA teams, the top 24 teams in the season, in a bunch of hotels in one area, not letting them leave.
They're all in Disneyland.
And then they have these court. Do they have more than one court?
It's a sports complex.
So how many courts do they have? Do you know?
I have no idea, but they must have a few.
Yeah, so they have a few courts, and they honestly, the games feel like you're watching an AAU basketball game.
Yeah, it does.
It's kind of interesting. Or it also gives me Olympic vibes, like if you're watching an Olympic game,
smaller stadium kind of feel. The crowd's a little quieter. I
actually don't mind it. I thought I would hate the UFC with no fans. Sucks.
Yeah, it's tough because you can hear it's just weird, like hearing the fighter getting jacked up, like basically with just him and his cornermen.
Just dead air.
Yeah, it's just dead air.
Whereas basketball, I've watched enough basketball at AAU games that there's no fans cheering and stuff that it's not that weird to me.
Right.
Well, the UFC reminds me of the old Ultimate Fighter right now. Like all you hear is their corner talking. That's it.
Dude, 100%. That's how they went through how many seasons of the Ultimate Fighter with no fans. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's also kind of to their advantage because they've done it with no fans.
So now
before.
they know how to do it again.
Exactly.
Yep.
And one thing that I think is interesting about the UFC too is some fighters have commented that the commentators like Daniel Cormier or John Anik, the fighters can hear their commentating during the actual fight.
Really? That's interesting.
Yes. So
That
I
would
don't know.
mess with me a little bit,
Yeah,
I think.
I don't know
too.
how that plays into a fight, but it's been interesting. And honestly, the UFC is still as entertaining as it was with fans.
I was thinking about how much we hate the commentators in Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. Imagine that being your real golf game, hearing those assholes
Oh,
while you're actually
gosh.
golfing.
That would suck. So with the NBA, they also have the fans that Zoom call in. Have you seen that? So there's a video board that goes all the way around, which I actually think is kind of cool. And then they have a system where like super fans is I think what they call them, kind of like the NFL. Zoom call in and they display their face on the video boards, and then they put them like behind the basketball hoop when they're shooting free throws, and like they actually like wave their hands and stuff, which I find kind of funny. It's definitely a weird time to be alive, especially in the sports world. But hockey's back, baseball is back. Didn't baseball run into some issues restarting up with?
Yeah, the
Marlins.
Miami Marlins had like 12 or 13 guys who had tested positive.
So they're done for the season, right? The Marlins are scrapping it.
Nope. They'll come back. So they'll
Okay.
they'll take their week and a half quarantine because I think I don't know.
So do they have to forfeit those games, or how does that work?
Are they just trying to scrape by with 9 randoms?
That I'm not entirely sure. I would assume they're calling guys up from AAA, from AA,
You'd
whatever
think
that
that
may
they
be.
give it a shot
Yeah.
instead of
They
just
have to.
forfeiting. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean they ran into a little road bump, but those guys will be back in 2 weeks playing again. I think they have to have 2 negative tests before they can come back and play. But yeah, it'll be interesting. And there's a lot of reports going on too about like how they're going to cancel the season if they can't get this under control. But I don't know how true that stands.
So that is going to be my question in a little bit. But before I say that, our boy Adam Eaton, we haven't talked about this on the podcast, friend of the podcast, hopefully soon to be a reoccurring guest on the podcast. When the MLB was back on opening day, he was interviewed on MLB Network and I think ESPN or something.
Yep.
And he was wearing
Yeah.
the You Betcha U Balance shirt that we sent him on TV. And then what does he do? First at bat of the season, bomb.
Gonzo.
Yahtzee.
Hits a home run. I'm not saying that it's because he was wearing the You Betcha shirt, but I think it was because he was wearing the You Betcha
What
shirt.
are the odds he was wearing it under his jersey?
Probably pretty high, I'm guessing. I wouldn't take that thing off, especially after he hit a bomb on first at bat of the season. But
What I'm saying is that we should maybe give him a call and say, hey, can we make this the official shirt, the official U Balance shirt of Adam Eaton?
I think it
red.
already is. He's worn it multiple times on TV.
But
It's
see,
the best.
that's a custom shirt though. We don't have a red shirt with a white U Balance logo on
Really?
it. We will now. Now that it's out in the air. But that was
I
custom.
did. I actually, I'll be
Nationals
honest,
color.
I didn't know that we didn't have a red one, so that's not good. So
It is what it is.
that would literally take us like 3 minutes to add to the website.
I mean, well, we have one now, so Adam Eaton shirt, unofficially.
Unofficial, official, Adam Eaton, U Balance, You Betcha shirt. I haven't caught into the NHL stuff. What's going on with the NHL? Is that going okay?
Same kind of thing as the NBA. They're doing a bubble. I forget where they're at, but they're doing the same bubble action. And it's funny, I was listening to an interview with Foligno from the Wild. They go and just watch other games. They're the other teams are the only
Interesting.
fans at the arena.
That makes sense to me.
That's
That
kind of
was-
cool.
And they're
It's
like,
literally like a
Like
AAU
travel ball.
travel.
Yeah.
right. And they're in playoffs, so they're only doing like a playoff thing. And so they're going to scout like their potential next round playoff opponents. So once you lose and you're out and done, you get to leave the bubble.
Gotcha.
But for now, you've got to stay in it, just like the NBA. And it's interesting. It's kind of the same concept. They're all dining and eating together. It's like spring or like fall camp for football.
Yep.
You're always going to the same meetings together and eating together.
Yeah.
And that's a great segue into probably the last sport that has restarted back up is NFL is back in training camp. Now, I said earlier I had a question for what you said. What has to happen for them to cancel the NFL season? I feel like there has to be a mass.
There has
but here's the thing.
That should be a walkout or something.
Yeah.
Goodell's not canceling anything.
There's not canceling anything, but even if like 100 players got coronavirus, wouldn't they just wait 2 weeks and then just keep playing?
So this is what D3 football is doing. They're not playing until the spring. Their season is in the spring.
Yeah, that's because they're D3 football. They can do the stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure D2 is doing it too, but I'm not positive, so I didn't want to quote it.
I don't think D2 is doing that.
No.
No, Midwest Giselle says D2 is not doing that.
That's some D3
But
stuff
couldn't you
right
see
there.
that happening before them canceling it completely, just moving the season?
Yeah, NAI probably canceled altogether. So.
Yeah, but think about how much that messes everything up for the next year.
But they would rather make half the money in the spring than no money at all.
Couldn't you make half of the money now?
Yeah, but I'm just saying worst case scenario, I think they would move it to the spring.
It is an absolute mess, but I'm not complaining that sports are back. Ryan, I want to close out this segment asking you if you have been placing any bets on anything.
Yes, I've been. Yeah, that's
how has that been going?
It's been going.
Does it feel good to be back betting?
It feels really good to be back. There was a moment in time when there was nothing happening to where I was looking through my betting app and I'm like, oh, Australian cricket. I don't really know much about that. Table tennis, that could go either way. This guy's a huge favorite. But we're back. I know a little bit about what's going on in the betting world now. So I'm a UFC guy. I'm through and through.
I know you constantly talk about it.
So that's where some of the t-shirt money has been going is into the UFC, and it's been going okay, Miles. We're still getting our feet underneath of us, but yeah, we're on the up and up.
You know what that means, Tyler?
What?
He's lost money.
Yeah, he's out.
No,
he's out.
Okay, not much.
He's
but
even. He's even.
That's why I said we're on the up and up. Okay,
Yep.
we're working our way back.
Mentally, he has made money, but in reality, if you were to come down into the real world, Ryan, you have not made money.
Probably,
So
yeah. Present day, yes. Overall, probably not.
that's the stuff that he tells Meg after every weekend is,
I'm on the up and up, honey.
no, yeah, it's been interesting.
Yeah.
So, speaking of interesting, it has been interesting in the bunker the last week and a half. We have a new face. We have someone new that has come into the You Betcha culture that is now working here. His name is Jake Zell, so therefore we naturally just call him Giselle. He's the Midwest Giselle. He's a video guy as well, and
He's also
for the audience, you should be excited that this is happening because that just means that we'll be able to put out more content for you than what we're already doing.
also a former news anchor like Tyler.
Also another
TV guy.
former news anchor. I didn't make him wear a suit today, but he is excited. We're excited. So we're going to take our first break and we're going to welcome on the Midwest Giselle. Guys, welcome on the ever so new Midwest Giselle. Jake, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, and I'm as new as they come, I guess.
You're like a newborn baby, fresh out of the womb, still covered in goo. Haven't even opened up your eyes yet. Don't even know which way is up, which way is down. But here you are on the podcast. You have now worked here for a week and a half. I just want to lay it out there before we dive into your backstory or whatever. How is the first week and a half been here at You Betcha?
It's been the worst experience of my life, honestly. No, I'm kidding. I've been having a good time. It seems like a good fit. Do you feel like we work well together?
Well, this isn't a date, so I just wanted to know how you felt about the first week, not how I felt about the first week.
Hey, I said it's fine to me. I said I feel good.
So Jake, you're a roofer. You're a roofer guy, you're manual labor, kind of like Miles, grew up in the concrete world. How does this dynamic compare to the roofing life?
I can tell you, I would much rather be doing this than being on the roof.
Yeah, I would agree. I would much rather be doing this than working concrete. Glad I worked concrete. Glad I'm not working concrete now because that's tough stuff as well as shingling up on the roof.
Yeah.
So tell the audience a little bit of your backstory, where you came from. Oh yeah, first get that beer open. Anticlimactic, no
Yeah,
Bush.
there was. Hey, that's your shtick. That's not mine.
That is true. I will have to say that, but also you got a lot to learn, kid.
Tyler's first time opening a Bush on podcast.
You,
He followed it up with a oofdas.
yeah, that was. It was a tough tagline. So tell the audience what you got going for your backstory. Where
Hold
you?
on, let me defend myself here.
No, we're moving on.
Oofdas is way better
No.
than wow.
WoW isn't creative either. I will say that.
But it's stuck.
But Post Malone did make a song off of Ryan's
Exactly.
saying.
thank you.
There's no oofdas song. Anyways, so where are you from? How'd you end up where you are now?
Born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in a suburb just to the west side of Minneapolis, St. Louis Park. To anyone who knows where that is. And I just graduated college as of a month ago and was frantically searching for a job. And Miles decided that
You would no longer search for a job.
from this day forward, Jake is done searching for a job.
So how did you get into video then? Because obviously we didn't just hire you for your roofing skills.
Yeah, that's true. Back in high school, I had a YouTube channel where I played Call of Duty, and I made Call of Duty montages and highlights and all of that stuff. And so that got me super interested into video making and the editing process and all of that. And so from that point forward, I kind of got hooked into the YouTube scene and into the whole video creation, and did that all throughout high school. And then I got to college thinking that I was going to be a public relations guy and then a professor.
You were going to be a professor?
No. And then one day a professor walked up to me. Yeah.
I thought you were going to be a public relations professor. I was like, that sounds so boring.
Electric.
Riveting lifestyle. No, one day a professor walked up to me and he had known about my hobby in high school, and he said, you should try this class in digital media. He was the digital media professor. He said, you should try this class with me. So I gave it a shot. It was like registration time, so it was easy peasy, and I fell in love with the class, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do that for a living. Like I could do that for the rest of my life. I just never had considered it as a possibility until then. And so 4 years later, here I am.
So you also were in the sports department over there at your college, right? Did a lot of graphics, did stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
How, because I'm always curious, because I only know what we've created here. I've never worked another job like this. Like I said, I worked concrete. Then me and another guy started up a marketing company, and then we started this. So I've never actually worked for anyone else really, other than the concrete. So what is like the job environment compared to what you've seen in the last week and a half? Like, what's the differences?
Oh, it is so, I mean, maybe don't take this the wrong way. It's so less formal, which is a good thing. I think, I think Tyler can attest to this, but the whole local news circuit and all that stuff where it's suits and I don't know, old news and all that sort of stuff is, I don't know, it gets repetitive and stale. And I feel like there's a little bit of loss of touch with what is going on in your viewer's head. And so I feel like allowing the workspace to be a little bit more casual, and also, the nature of making videos and this podcast and all that stuff is fun. So therefore the work environment gets to be fun because of that.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a lot less formal, but also that is good because that allows you to get creative, and it allows you to explore multiple different avenues without having, especially without, having to go up the chain of command to figure out exactly what you want to do.
That's right. There's a chain of command here, and it's got one link.
I was
That
just
chain
gonna
of
say
command's got one link, baby. Ryan, how do you think it's been going here with the old Midwest Giselle? Because definitely what I would say is we hired Ryan, Tyler, and Lakin relatively at the same time. So it took us a long time for us to figure out just how this all works, establish the culture. Then I feel like actually right before we hired Jake, we were in a groove. We were we didn't have to communicate as much. We more so just knew what each other were thinking.
Yep.
All that stuff. And now we're starting over with getting the groove going with the squad, which I think is good because that's what happens when you grow a business. But I also feel like because we already established a culture, it was easier for him to hop in and not have to do as much just talking about what the culture even is. Would you agree, Ryan?
I would agree 100%. Yeah, and for me too is like, Jake, the first time I met you was when we interviewed you, and then I think we hired you probably like 2 or 3 days later. So there wasn't a ton of backstory going into it of hey, here's the kind of guy we're hiring, here's the skills he has. It was kind of just like Jake's starting on Monday, so get whatever you need to get prepared. Basically get him some You Betcha merch so that he can be repping around the bunker was my position.
Yep.
Ryan made this shirt this morning.
Yep,
He had
there
no
we go.
time.
Yep. But for me, I think when you were putting together some breakfast ball graphics and we kind of started to see the whole montage of how this the Friday morning breakfast ball league was going to look on YouTube. When I saw those graphics, I was like, damn, this is going to be sweet. I think.
Damn.
I think.
Damn, Tyler's got to be nervous right now.
Yeah.
And I love that he can't rebuttal that right now. It's so great. He's just sitting there. He just has to take it.
Sweating.
But honestly, and Tyler's good at a lot of other stuff that Jake might not be, and Jake's good at stuff that Tyler might not be. So
Who's Jake?
Sorry, Giselle.
Oh, okay, Giselle.
That's more like it.
So it was definitely a void that we needed to fill. And with your age and you're a young kid, we've been in your situation before, so we can still kind of relate, and it's good for us because it kind of makes us feel young again. Being at the age we're at, wake up and you start hurting a little bit, and Giselle walks in, he's like, "What's up, guys? What's going on? We going drinking on Thursday?"
Sprinting in.
Yeah. So I really like the energy. I like what Giselle brings to the table, and when we come to work, we get a lot done, but we also have a lot of fun in the meantime. So I think you're going to fit right in with that, and I'm excited for it.
So Ryan, the last question I'll ask you is, as you know, this company, this podcast, it's not all sunshine and rainbows.
It's not.
I asked you guys after you had worked here a little bit, what was your one gripe that you had with me? I want to know, we need to air it out right here, right now on the podcast. What has been your one gripe with the Midwest Giselle in the last week and a half?
I can take it, Ryan. Hit me. That's fine.
Well, I haven't worked in the last week and a half until today. I've been taking a lot of time off lately.
That's such a cop out.
I know you haven't.
My biggest gripe with Giselle.
Miles, I want to hear yours after this too.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I don't know. I don't have a gripe yet because it's literally been 6 or 7 days. Miles, you go first.
No. I'm not letting you off the hook, buddy.
And you have to make eye contact with me too while you do it.
What is come on.
I would say my biggest gripe with Giselle, eye contact right now and all, was that being a local news guy, same as Tyler, you were not forced to wear a suit on your very first podcast.
That is such a cop out. All right. So my gripe, because Ryan sucked. That's my gripe with Ryan today, is that he couldn't muster up any courage. So my one gripe, and maybe Tyler can attest to this, is Giselle can get a little mouthy at times. In his first week and a half, he's already a little bit mouthy. You can once in a while there's just a snarky comment that maybe in my first week and a half of working somewhere I'd maybe hold off until like month 1 or 2. But hey, I'll roll with it. If that's the way we're gonna play, we'll play mouthy. I'll get mouthy all day.
Miles, that's
Giselle,
confidence.
He also did that in the interview, so you knew coming in that that's what it was going to be.
He was, yeah, I would agree. Yeah, no, I don't care. That was my only gripe.
Most people would describe it as quick, witty.
Yes. But to see that in the first few days of working here, usually you're like, oh my God, can I help with anything? Like what should I do next?
It's the complete opposite.
I like the confidence though. I really do.
Yeah. I wonder what he would have said if on day 1 I had told him to go get us coffee. He probably would have sent some mouthy comment and not done it. That's apparently the way Gen Z is going to roll these days. I guess we got to know. Last night we were playing a little PGA tour before we left. Really mouthy to the boss on day night.
Really?
Miles was getting way cocky last night. I had to put him in his place. I had to let him know.
He it was actually at one point I had to tell him to not talk in my backswing on a video game. So
Okay, but who takes it that seriously? Come on.
He does. He does.
Sorry, I'm a competitive guy. That's probably a gripe with some of these guys is too confrontational and competitive.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a couple different pieces of content that we may have had to axe or may axe in the future because we just can't have fun doing it because we're too competitive.
Yeah, last week we golfed and it was not good.
I was filming it the whole time.
And it wasn't good, was it?
No, it was actually torture to sit back and watch you guys just all mad at each other.
Well, until you came over to my shot, and then it was
No, not even then.
Well, Ryan shot that he in his brain thinks he can hit 315, but in reality he hits like 280. But that's a thing for another day.
welcome to You Betcha.
So, what are you most excited about working here for, Giselle? What are you most excited about?
Honestly, I just really like to be. This is going to be a
He's not
career-based
excited.
answer.
He might quit at the end of the week
Yeah,
here.
after this podcast, it's over.
What are you most excited for?
I'm just excited to get into a routine, honestly. Like as of right now, like I don't know, back in college I had a good group of guys that I worked with that, you know, our dynamic functioned pretty similar to how we seem to be working right about now. And so I'm looking forward to getting into that dynamic where, like as you mentioned earlier, where we just like all know exactly what's going on in each other's heads.
Yeah.
And like we just basically read each other's minds. And for me, that's how it was for the past, 4 years in college. And I just look forward to getting back to that point.
I agree. What is something that you wish we were doing that we're not doing?
Letting me golf on Fridays when you guys shoot breakfast ball.
That's tough. Jake does
What's funny is that was a trick question, Ryan, because if you know me and my personality, if you say you want something, I usually make you do the opposite. So you're never going to sniff the tee box on Fridays.
I'm stuck being tortured watching you guys just duff balls all day.
Whoa.
Whoa, was that too far?
I duffed a few. Most of mine just sliced really bad to the right. Less duffs, more slices.
That's fair.
less.
Tyler usually duffs. It's more.
more of a fade. I'll give that to you, Miles. More.
Huh?
Not last week, right, Miles?
Yeah, we won't talk about that. But all right, well, maybe if you're really lucky, maybe if you have a really long string of good ideas in a row, we'll maybe think about letting you play on Fridays with us. By that time, it'll be winter. So
And a good idea is not ASMR video.
yeah, so I can't wait to find out what Giselle's worst idea is.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
Mine was the Midwest ASMR. I'll never live that down.
Ryan came up with that. He championed that video into existence. And we're to a point on our page where if we get under 1 million views, we're pretty unhappy with it.
Yes.
Just based off our audience size, based off of what we believe our skill level is. If we can hit that 3 million view count, we're like, that was a solid video. Ryan's Midwest ASMR video to date. So this is over months and over 6 months of accumulation of views. Has like 162,000 views on it. Ryan's biggest L today is the Midwest ASMR video. So if you want to make Ryan feel better, go to Facebook and share. You have to search for it.
Hey, this video after this podcast will just spike. We'll hit like 500,000.
You're right. It'll go from 162 to like 168. Yeah, man, we're glad to have you on. I think it's going to be interesting and fun to figure each other out. And I like just letting everything out in the open. And I think that you fit well with that culture. So I'm excited about that. You're Gen Z, right?
I don't even know. What am I? I
He's
don't
got to
know.
be Gen
Yeah, I
Z.
think-
Yeah.
yeah. Yep.
You're-
I don't know. I was born in 98.
So you're Gen Z. So basically, you were born in 98.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you betcha's getting younger.
Guys, there's like a 5-year difference. between me and you.
TikTok didn't get banned, so I'm gonna need you to really hit TikTok hard since you're a Gen Zer.
Do you want to learn some dances? I can teach you a few.
Renegade.
So we're gonna need you to be our chief TikTok,
TikTok.
our chief TikTok operator. So you can be our CTTO. And then we're also going to need you to blow us up on Twitch because we've been a slow rise and you're a Gen Zer, you're the chief TikTok operator. And so we're going to also need you to figure out Twitch and get us going on Twitch because we're old. We're 27, Ryan.
Yep.
We're old. We're old as dirt. And so when we're done with this podcast, you better go start working on that. That sound good?
Yes, sir. Yes. Yeah.
See, that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted out of the first week and a half instead of some snarky comment. But
Jake, Giselle, you got your own social media pages now.
Yes.
You're officially part of the crew.
Yes, I
Tell
am.
us where we
Oh,
can
yeah.
find you.
Go find me on Instagram at Midwest Giselle.
How do you spell Giselle?
Gisele. Midwest.
not
Giselle.
affiliated with Giselle, Tom Brady's wife, and the world-renowned supermodel. Not affiliated, but maybe someday.
You know how disappointed I am that my name is Giselle because it rhymes with my name and not because I'm like that good looking.
Yeah, it's definitely
Very
not the
disappointing.
good-looking
Yeah.
part. I can tell you how much. A lot of our listeners are probably glad that this is a audio recording and they're not watching it on Facebook.
No, but now they're going to go on and watch it on Facebook because they want to see what this guy actually looks like.
we should, Tyler. We should like do some like distort his face somehow, like the Tic Tac filters. Okay, he's on it.
Tyler's on it. See, that's
I knew
the spirit.
Tyler would be on it.
Yeah.
I feel like Tyler is now going to try and sabotage Giselle working here so he doesn't take his job. You guys couldn't hear what he said, but it doesn't matter because it wasn't that good.
He's on his way out. It doesn't matter anyways.
He's on borrowed time now. So, yep, just keep working hard, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's literally barely got his head above water. Ryan, you got any last questions for Midwest Giselle? We probably won't see him on here for like years.
No.
So this is your last opportunity to ask questions to Giselle on the podcast. This is the last opportunity.
No, I'm good.
I knew he wouldn't have, I knew he wouldn't have anything. Why would he come in here prepared? I swear to God, Ryan. Well, we're excited to have you guys. Go follow him on Instagram at Midwest Giselle. Where you probably will be able to find him eventually is once we get him rolling here, we'll probably have him doing some streaming. I know that you've streamed yourself and kind of have that as your background. So I'm excited about that. Go follow him. We're going to take our second break. We're going to finish out this podcast. We'll get Ryan back in this studio and wrap her up.
Hey guys, Tyler the camera guy here. No suit, but I do have a message for you. The next segment's audio is not going to be the greatest. We ran into some technical difficulties. We have fixed it for the next podcast, but sorry, you're going to have to deal with it for just one segment, and it won't happen again. I promise.
All right, guys. Right before we hopped into this, Ryan walked back to his chair. He looked Giselle right in the eye and just said, "Give Daddy his chair back." So, Ryan's daddy, I guess. I am gonna stay out of your guys' relationship with that, and I'm just gonna let HR. I'm gonna let Lakin handle that. But guys, so it's August already. Believe it or not. It is August. I don't know if we talked about the podcast, Ryan, but you and I have talked about that once Labor Day hits, summer is over.
Yep. Lake season's over. Summer's over.
So we got about a little over a month left before that happens.
Yep.
So we got 1 month left the summer. This August is when a bunch of country music festivals happen. Everyone makes sure that they get to the lake, yada, yada, yada. I feel like COVID has made it so that isn't the case. So to me, it feels a little bit like summer's already winding down. Yesterday, it was a little bit more crisp outside. You remember I said this feels like it's already like fall, like when you're in college, you go back to school, you got fall camp starting. It's already starting to feel like that. Is summer 2K20 over already, Ryan?
I would say my kind of ending point for summer in general is when they start harvesting the wheat. Because when the wheat gets harvested,
Ryan, the farmer guy.
Yep.
I didn't know that you were such a big farmer.
Yep, early goose season starts where we're at. Football gets kicked off, and when football starts, you kind of just stray away from the lake a little bit. You want to stay home. You want to get your college football, your NFL football in Saturday, Sunday. But with that not really happening right away here in August, I would say I'm kind of on board with yes. Summer to me is.
Well, some would argue then that summer is actually longer then because all this other stuff with the sports and whatnot aren't going to start yet.
Very true. But I feel like when summer is in the air, the crisp coldness when you wake up in the morning is not present, which it is now.
I just mentally I feel over this summer.
It's almost like I feel like I kind of wanted the summer to just be over and move on to the next one.
Yep.
The summer it wasn't summer.
So everyone says this at some point in late summer. When is this for you guys? When you're kind of just sitting around and you've been to the lake 8 to 10 times this summer and you're kind of like, I'm kind of excited for fall.
Yeah, I am fully ready to plop myself on a couch all Saturday, all Sunday. Maybe order some pizza.
Oh God.
Slug a few beers, and just watch football for an entire weekend. I don't do that every weekend.
Yeah, because that's going to be the whole season, just one weekend.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
But like, I don't sit every weekend all year long. But I gotta get one of those weekends where literally for 2 straight days, I basically get bed sores because I've been sitting there for so long. I need a weekend like that just to mentally feel good again.
And you're ready for that weekend?
I'm ready for it. I love college football. I love fantasy football, and which I think we got to get a league going.
We got to go.
Absolutely. We got how many? We have enough people. We have 5 full timers
and 3 part timers.
So we got 8. We can just grab a few friends here and there. We'll get a good 12-team league going.
Yep.
Poor Lakin will have absolutely no idea what's going on.
Watch her win the league.
I was just gonna say,
you guys have never been in a fantasy league with me, so I can't believe we found another thing for me to beat you guys at. So.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I am excited for fantasy football.
I am excited to lose to Miles.
I would love to beat Miles at yet another thing that we played against each other.
And unlike Nectar Cup, that league has an end date to it. So
it does.
You can't just wait till Miles is ahead.
And when I do win, I don't have to be in the presence of Miles. I can, be at my own house and just kind of soaking that all in. So I feel like it'll be a little bit easier to enjoy that W.
You won't have to be in my presence at all because you'll have to find a new job. So, I'm excited for fantasy football. I feel like I've been paying attention to NFL way more in the last couple years than I have my entire life. So I feel like I'm locked and ready to go.
Do you have a favorite team yet?
I don't have a favorite team.
You've never had a favorite team for as long as I've known you.
Yeah,
which is kind of interesting because when you talk to as big of a football fan as you are, you always got a favorite team. But you do not.
I like watching football for the sport of football. Like the Rob Lowe photo of him with just the NFL logo on his hat. That is honestly neat. I literally just enjoy football. I obviously like certain players more than I like other players. Mostly the players that are on my fantasy team. But we'll have like probably a whole podcast about fantasy league and fantasy strategy. But yeah, I don't know. I just have never latched on to a team, and I don't get as emotionally invested as Tyler does in the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean it's a curse and a blessing. I enjoy I feel like I enjoy a Vikings game more than you can enjoy a regular game because I care so much about the team. You know what I mean?
I feel like you enjoy it less.
Both. I get the peaks and valleys for sure.
So the
Yeah.
Tyler that we see on In Zimmer We Trust, is that the Tyler that we'll see on a Sunday afternoon?
I yell at the TV quite a bit.
You do.
Yeah.
He does this raspy voice. I can't even do it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do, yep.
Ryan?
Yep.
I don't know what comes out of
I
him
don't
when
either. It just happens.
when he gets on his Twitch stream and he starts playing with the Vikings. Stephon Diggs. That's the way he.
Not far off.
Come on, Delvin, get in the end zone. And then he's just back to talking normal like this. I don't.
It's a different side of me. I don't remember doing it. It just happens.
There's peaks and valleys to
Yes.
to watching football or playing Madden for Tyler.
I think that there's a lot of fans that can relate to that, Tyler.
Yep.
So
My highs are highs.
cheers,
My lows are lows.
cheers to you as the relatable fan.
So
Thanks.
what's a Monday like coming into work for you when the Vikings lose on Sunday?
See, that's it. I don't let it affect. But look, so there was one game.
That's probably
affected my
because you've
personal
never
life.
been at a job where your coworkers like to provoke.
Oh,
How
they
you
did.
feel?
When I worked at the news, they were on me all the time, but I didn't care what they thought. So.
Yeah, but they probably there's no gloves
But-
in this fight.
Only one game ever has affected me and changed my mood for the week, and that was when we got our asses whooped by the Eagles in the NFC Championship game.
That was a very
Because
disappointing game.
if there was ever a year, actually, that was the year, and we just we got made fools of.
You didn't think last year against the 49ers when we got our
Nope,
asses
I didn't
whooped?
have an ounce of confidence. I mean, I thought maybe there was a chance that we beat the Saints, but
There's always a chance.
I thought for sure the Niners were the better team.
Do you know that you don't play for the Vikings?
I do know that.
Okay.
Are you an owner?
I am trying to. No,
Fair.
I do want season tickets at some point. Not good ones, I just want them.
Yep. Hey, Miles, that's why we got Tyler to reap the benefits of his future season tickets.
Yeah, I don't know how you plan to doing that, considering he's not going to have a job once Giselle takes
I'll
it
take
from
out a
him.
loan.
Can you imagine up there with one of the worst financial decisions of this decade would be taking out a loan to buy season tickets for the Minnesota Vikings?
Just put
Great
myself in
stadium, though.
so much debt. My family is we're eating ramen noodles every single night so I can go to Vikings games on Sundays.
Well, no, so Tyler can go to Vikings games and buy $18 beers.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's just feeding his family
He's-
ramen and
Well,
cereal.
and because he can't control his drinking habits on the stream, he has to get picked up by his.
Yeah, it's great content.
Did you have to get picked up
He had
last
to get
night?
picked up. He's had to get picked up like the last 3 weeks because
Just
he drinks
two.
too many
Just two.
beers. And that will be him. Not only will he spend all their money on season tickets and the beer at the game, he'll make them like drive to the stadium and pick him up because he's going by himself.
wait outside.
Because he can only
I'm
afford
buying
one season
yeah,
ticket.
one single season ticket.
But they can't
I'll
afford
prove that.
they can't afford the $10 parking. So Tyler's girlfriend will have to keep driving around the cities
circling the stadium.
until
No, we just wait till there's a red light and I can hop out close enough to the stadium.
Yep, and then the car just keeps driving around until the game's over, and then
Yep.
Tyler comes stumbling out of US Bank Stadium.
Yep.
Take me to the bar.
I'm
We
waiting.
almost won again. I need to do shots.
I'm waiting post game as long until they kick me out so I can take all the old hot dogs home with me. to feed my family.
No, he's the guy that after Vikings win, he waits until after the game, and then what he does is he walks around and collects the streamers for his scrapbook.
Yep.
The streamers.
Yeah, don't streamers fall from the ceiling after wins and stuff?
Only really important ones.
Well, and he also
Playoffs.
So he absolutely would have no
no.
idea what that's about. Sorry,
hey
that was my bad.
he also saves his cups from the beer he drinks, so then he can bring them home and they
That's
can
the
have
fine china.
Yep, they can have stuff to drink out of.
Yep.
That's what it's
He,
kids drinking out of.
he told it, we're getting rid of all the glass in this household. We're only using souvenir beer cups.
Helmet nachos.
Yes, yes.
From the bank. He doesn't even call it US Bank Stadium. He just calls it the bank.
Tyler, I'm excited to see you during football season. It
Tyler's
hasn't happened yet.
ringtone
I'm
is
not excited to see any of you during football season.
Tyler is literally the guy who has his ringtone as the skull chant.
No. But that would be cool.
So he's gonna do it.
Yep.
You didn't even think of that, but
I used to have a balloon back in the day when ringtones were free. A long time ago, that was a Minnesota thing.
Tyler, say it again. I'm excited to see you during football season because I think we're going to see a new you. We'll talk about biggest gripes here in about 3 to 4 months when we can actually see Tyler in Minnesota Vikings fashion, and we'll come to work on it one day.
I think my favorite moment of the week will be when we do the podcast and I can ask him how the Vikings did the week before.
Yep.
And he'll have some sorry excuse of how they blew it.
I'm not that fan though. I know when there's a better team and a better team
Why
beats us.
are you getting so riled up then
Because
right now?
that you basically PUBG cheese in the chat right now.
It's a classic guy that gets most triggered says that he never gets triggered. It's literally Tyler.
I
about
get
the
upset,
Vikings.
but I'm realistic about why I'm upset.
Tyler, what was the game again where you were in college and refresh my memory. You guys, Vikings won a big game. You guys had like a weightlifting set outside.
Yep.
So in like the dead of winter, you guys were just pumping out some bench.
Yeah,
You were so
stupid college stuff. That was when the
That
Minneapolis
stresses
Miracle.
me out.
the Minneapolis Miracle. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah. Tyler was out there lifting weights. He was so jacked up the Vikings just won.
That makes
It was. I was filming it.
Okay.
Tyler, the camera guy, filming stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, they were out because we had like a CrossFit set in our yard.
CrossFit guy.
Yep. I used to be I was a CrossFit douche once upon a time.
I was too,
I'll
Tyler.
own that. I'll
Yep,
own it.
I was
enjoyed
too.
it. Yeah, so they were working out in a blizzard. It was a blizzard that night, and then we got put on Yahoo Sports and Barstool and the whole nine. It was all over.
Wow.
It was basically like, some of them were like, wow, these guys are so funny, and other ones like, look at these idiots.
Yeah,
And
I
that
would
was the
probably
proof.
be the latter.
And then that was the next week when we lost to the Eagles. I was telling you about. So the highs and lows, peaks and valleys, right there.
Well, that's because all Vikings fans thought that they won the Super Bowl because they won.
That is
one
a Super
playoff
Bowl
game.
for us. And I'm fully aware of that.
I know,
We win a playoff game,
but you're
that makes
just
the
hold on.
season.
Do you realize how bad that is for your franchise? That your entire fan base expects the team to lose.
We don't expect.
Hold
We're
on,
just
hold
happy
on,
when we
hold
win.
on. No. Hey, you guys fully. How many times have you heard a Vikings fan when the team goes in the fourth quarter? You guys will literally have like a 3-touchdown lead, and then
Let's just blow it.
yeah, literally every fan. Well, we're the Vikings. I'm sure we'll figure out how to blow this. You think that the New England Patriot fans are with a 3-touchdown lead going into the fourth quarter are saying that? They're literally
No,
going.
no.
Maybe this year.
No. They're literally going. Well, we're the New England Patriots. We'll be up by 5 touchdowns by the end of this half. No problem.
It takes.
I do think that energy out of the fans does affect how the world lays out.
I would agree.
So,
And it takes. It will take
Vikings
a few years.
fans, if you guys want to sit down and you want to talk about how to grow your franchise, it starts with you. You gotta start believing in your team.
You gotta become an owner. You gotta have faith.
I don't think we're allowed to be owners.
No.
Most families got that unlocked.
Yeah, I
We're
don't
not
think.
the Packers. You can't buy a certificate and become an owner.
Well, it's not even it's just a piece of paper because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But that's a whole nother podcast.
Yep.
So
We got a lot to talk about this fall when it comes to football.
I'm so
season. This is gonna be good.
And this
Back
is
to your
why
original question. I am ready for fall.
Okay.
Yes.
all I have to say is there's no better time in the fall than to be an unbiased sports fan and take people who are just unbelievably biased like Tyler is, and just get them all riled. I don't get riled. I don't let it get to me.
I get
I
riled
don't
up.
let it get to me. And he's look at him. He's all worked up. He got a smirk on his face.
You are in a great position.
Just
You're-
stir the pot.
Yep.
baby. Just stir the pot.
Do what you do best.
Stir the pot, baby. Ryan, I feel we talked to Midwest Giselle, talked a lot of sports today. Feels good to be talking about sports once again. Why don't you wrap up this sports podcast?
Guys, thanks again for listening in to episode 78 of the You Betcha Radio podcast. Before we go, we'd just like to thank Gina's Designs of the Heartland. Gina's Designs of the Heartland handcrafts, hand paints, all of our wood pine signs on the website at oubetcha.com. We got 3 different Nectar of the Gods prints that go great in any man cave, any garage, anywhere that you're going to be enjoying a nice cold bouche latte. You can find Gina's Designs of the Heartland at etsy.com/shop/GDOT Heartland or on our website, oubetcha.com. Thank you, Gina's. And Miles, the merch is wide open. As you can see, if you're watching the video format right now, I'm wearing the brand new Latte Buzzin' shirt. Bush Latte cans are back for the fall. We got tons of new merch. We got the breakfast ball stuff that just released. You guys have to go check it out. It is sweet. We're going to be rocking it for a very long time. So you can find that at oubetcha.com. Check out the new merch. Also, we will be streaming the Nectar Cup Series tonight when this airs. Week 8, Tyler. Week 8 of the Nectar Cup Series. We started off good on good terms last week, but things didn't really end the way we wanted to. So we'll see how week 8 goes. You're gonna want to tune into that at twitch.tv/oubetcha. Miles, good podcast. I'm excited for sports to be back. I am Ryan the T-shirt guy.
And I am Miles, the You Betcha guy. May your ranch always be runny. Your bush lattes forever be cold. Cheers, Ryan. Oh my god.
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Yeah.